Okay guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. Got to say, I'm not feeling it at all tonight. This is about the third or fourth attempt at recording this bloody waffle. Started off and then I just, can't do it at all. Don't know what's wrong with me, I think I'm tired. Anyway, listen, it's Friday, it's the 31st of March, yep. And it's the weekend, thank goodness. I hope you've all had a decent week. I've had my usual busy week at work. I was at my guitar lessons on Wednesday. I'm gradually getting better. I mean, I still can't really play a tune as such, but definitely getting better. I'm starting to get kind of used to the chords. I can find, I probably know maybe 10 chords, but there's a delay in me sort of swapping, you know, changing over. But I'm definitely getting there, quite enjoying it. I did the waffle early last week because I was away to the Isle of Arran last weekend. Had an absolutely amazing time. The weather was amazing. Didn't go quite according to plan. Instead of managing 55 miles, I had to retire at 20. Just struggling on the asthma front. Asthma front. I was at the doctors this week and they've confirmed I do have, it's called exercise related asthma, so I've got a blue inhaler thing, so hopefully I can control it using that. Apart from that, what I've been doing, I've been playing my Neo Geo a lot. Got to say, it's awesome. It's the first time I've been able to, that I've owned a machine that is actually, you're playing arcade games. Yeah, I know you can play it in emulators, you know, I've been playing Neo Geo games in emulators for years. But to actually have a piece of hardware which is playing an arcade game absolutely perfect, it's the same game, is really wicked. It's a really nice machine. Yeah, if you don't like shoot 'em ups, sports games or beat 'em ups, then don't waste your money. I'm not a big fan of beat 'em ups, I must admit, but it's got some cracking arcade games, some amazing shoot 'em ups, and I say there's, you know, stuff like the run and gun games like Metal Solid, not Metal Solid, what do you call it, Metal Slug, yeah, the Metal Slug series, really good. I also treated myself to this, which arrived today. It's a little kind of arcade stick. Listen to that lovely clicky noise. That came from Japan, arrived today. I'm not even going to tell you how much it costs. Put it this way, they're not cheap. They're definitely not cheap. But the thing is, like I always tell myself, all these bits of hardware, yeah, they're not cheap, but they're never ever, you're never going to lose money. Unless you damage it or break it, you're never going to lose money. You're always going to get your money back on these things. So that's what I keep telling myself anyway. So yeah, listen, I don't have a hell of a lot to talk about this week. Yeah, just in fact, well, you know what, there's actually one thing I was going to talk about. There's a question down below which kind of leads on to that, so I'll just leave it for that. Before I forget, I noticed tonight I'm over, well not over, I'm at 1,200 subscribers. Pretty crazy actually. 1,200 subscribers. I know it's got nothing to do with subscribers, it's to do with views. But it's still pretty mental. I mean, I've been at this now for 3 years. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's going. There's a real good bunch of people that watch my videos. There's plenty of comments, and that's what it's all about for me. It's about getting people talking and interacting. You know, it's really good. And there seems to be quite a few people enjoy some of my slightly more bizarre videos that I put out, which is great. You know, so yeah, if you're a new subscriber, thank you very much for coming along and joining the channel. I hope you see enough to make you want to stay, you know. So anyway, yeah, 1,200 subscribers. When did that happen? Now, if you watch the channel, you'll probably hear me constantly going on about how I'm a completely non-technical person. I really am. Now, I made in my last week's Friday Waffle, I did an unboxing of the Neo Geo. Now, I actually, after I had done the pickup part of it, I put together the video and then something happened and I edited it out. But then something then happened and I put it back in again. Now, bear with me. shortly after opening up the Neo Geo, I mean, you saw me unboxing it. Shortly after it, obviously, I plugged it in to play it, and I noticed it wasn't coming on. I thought, that's very strange. So I contacted one of my mates, and I says, I've just plugged the Neo Geo in and using the UK adapter, and it's not coming on. And he got back to me, says, please tell me you haven't plugged it straight into the 240 volts. And I'm like, yeah. He went, I don't believe it. He says, you might have just fried your Neo Geo. So literally within half an hour of getting a Neo Geo, I potentially owned a paperweight. So I got in touch with one of the other mates, Mike, and Mike's a very clever guy. He says, look, why don't you bring it through and we can test it. So I jumped in the car, took it through to Mike, and fortunately I hadn't fried it. But so lucky. So lucky. I mean, I'm just stupid. You know, it didn't even cross my mind that I couldn't just plug it straight into the mains. You know, that's the first well, it's not entirely true. I was going to say it's the first foreign import machine that I actually own. I've got a Sega Saturn which I bought a few years ago, but it came with a special adapter, so I didn't even have to think about it. So when I got this Neo Geo, it didn't even cross my mind that I couldn't just plug it straight in. So I was very lucky. So the Neo Geo was almost not. So when after I thought I'd broken it, I decided to edit the pick up part out of the video, because I thought that's going to make me look really stupid, including that if I've already broken it. But once I discovered that I hadn't fried it, I put it back in again. So yeah, yeah, I would never ever make a good YouTuber for giving out advice on technical issues, because I'm as thick as they come when it comes to stuff like that. So aye, right, where am I? Yes, right, straight into questions. As you can probably tell with the big bags under my guys, I'm actually quite tired tonight, so I'm going to keep this fairly brief. Right, down the rabbit hole, Kev has got some questions. Thank you, Kev. Always appreciate you taking time to ask some questions. 2 weeks ago, you mentioned in your waffle you really loved Konami games back in the old days. They seem to be much reviled today, since they made such a mess of Metal Gear and have mostly turned everything they made into a Pachinko machine. Do you still like Konami now? I've got to say, Kev, I mean, the games by Konami that I play and love are all the old classics. You know, your Green Beret, your Hyper Sports, what else? Track and Field. Bloody hell, what was the other ones? I was going to say ping pong. I don't really play ping pong. Yeah, Kung Fu. Love all the early kind of Konami games. I love them to bits. You know, some of my favourite arcade games. I mean, did I play any more recent Konami games? Not really. I mean, there were one or two more kind of modern versions of like Track and Field and sort of PlayStation and that kind of stuff, but I don't really. I mean, what's the football game that they brought out? Well, they originally had a game called International Superstar Soccer, which was released on the SNES, I think it was. It was quite a unique game because it featured characters. It had individual sort of like superstar characters. It had like Roberto Baggio, who played for Italy, and he had like the wee ponytail, and so yeah, it was a really good game. But that then turned into Pro Evolution Soccer, which still sells today. I don't buy any of these modern football games. They're too complicated for me. There's too many buttons and that kind of stuff. So I can't say I've really played any sort of modern. When I say modern, anything after 1990, I've not really played any modern Konami games. I was never a fan of Metal Gear Solid because I just got bored shitless with the constant cutscenes. I mean, I don't know how many hours worth of cutscenes there were in the original game, but I just couldn't be arsed with that. One of my mates used to play the sort of Metal Gear series, you know, faithfully, and I used to sit and watch them, and I just thought, I'm getting fed up watching this. You know what I mean? There was very little game, and it's just constant cutscenes, and I just want to skip them. So I can't say I've ever really played many modern Konami games, Kev. It's a shame if I've kind of gone down the toilet. But like I says, they're original kind of arcade games from the 80s. I love them. I really, really do enjoy them. Number 2, Kev, you also mentioned when you played Resident Evil 7 how impressive it is that games are so real now they can scare you. I confess, scary games have terrified me for decades, even as far back as the original Quake. What's the earliest game that scares you today? The earliest game that scares me today? Well, the earliest game that I played that gave me a genuine scare jump was Rescue on Fractalis. You play the part of a sort of a space pilot, and you're flying across this deserted landscape, mountainous range. It was very, very clever. It used a process called fractal graphics to generate it. It came out in Atari 800 and also the Commodore 64. I don't think it came out in the Spectrum, did it? Don't think it did. Maybe it did, I'm not sure. But the idea of the game was to rescue downed pilots that have been shot down by the enemy. You've got to try and rescue the pilots, and you can see the pilots on the mountain, and then what you've got to do is you need to land your spaceship, and then you get the sound effect of the fallen pilot coming to the door. Then you hear them banging on the door, and sometimes it's not always a pilot that appears, it's an alien creature that appears. And the first time I saw that, I literally shit myself. It was, it was the first jump scare that I ever saw in a video game. Genuine fright. I mean, I've not played it for years. So as far as the earliest game that still scares me, I mean, I don't know whether I would get a fright. I probably would, because it's one of these games, it just takes you completely by surprise. And I say it's the earliest game that I can recall where you genuinely did get a fright. Probably the one after that would have to be, probably need to be Resident Evil, the original, on the PlayStation, when the dog jumps through the window. You weren't expecting it, and you genuinely did get a fright. So yeah. Number 3, I like this one. You're the king of British retro computers. Yeah, the king. There we go. The king of British retro computers. Not sure about that enough, Kev, but have you ever heard of a Grundy New Brain? Do you have one? I just heard of it in a UK documentary and have never heard anyone discuss the machine. I've definitely heard of it. I mean, it was a very, very early computer. I can't say I've ever seen one. I don't own one. I mean, it's one of the very, very early games, early computers. I don't know much about it other than it was a very early computer, and I don't think it wasn't successful. The thing is, when that came out, there was a rake of other games, computers. There was maybe 20, 30. There was a new computer coming out every other week. So back then you had this massive choice, and it's like, what do you go for? Unfortunately, if you'd gone for anything other than the Spectrum, Commodore 64 or BBC, you were pretty much screwed. I mean, there was computers like Dragon 32, the Lynx, the Sword M5, MSX. There was just so many. What do you call it? There was the Jupiter Ace, which ran 4th, I think it was, as its lineage rather than basic. So yeah, there was just so many of these computers, and I think the Grundy New Brain was one of them. I don't think it did very well at all. Number 4 from Kev. I'm hearing everyone online saying Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest games. Even Nintendo are mentioning it as one of the 4 highest reviewed games of all time. Personally, I don't get Zelda. You have the game in the Switch, right? Yep, I certainly do, Kev. Are you as enamoured as these reviewers? Is it a game beyond your wildest dreams? No, definitely not. I think it's like anything, Kev. I mean, we're all different. What a game that I love, somebody else will probably hate. There are people who just love adventure games, Zelda and that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not a big Zelda fan, I'm really not. And I've got a small confession to make. I've not played it in a couple of weeks, but that's just me. I'm like that with everything, which is a bit silly. But I've got to say, it is a stunningly beautiful game. It's just the way they've put the game together, the graphical, the way you can interact with everything. It just looks so pretty. It sounds really nice. You know, they've really created this completely believable world. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like the ultimate kind of sandbox game in my opinion. Again, it's not for everybody. You know, if you're not into Zelda, then you're not going to like this. It's just more of the same. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big Zelda fan, but I've got to say it's a really tremendous fun game to play. I think, Kev, if you actually had an opportunity to play one, if you borrowed a Switch for a month and played it, I would guarantee you would love it. You know, it's not a kind of game you could play and say this is crap. You know, it's just so well put together. Um, you know, the graphics, the style, the music, the animation, the baddies, the just the way you can build weapons and climb trees and you can climb walls and that kind of stuff. Is it the greatest game ever? Not in my opinion. I don't know what the greatest game ever is. It wouldn't be Zelda on the Switch. It is a really nice game. So yeah, it's not the best game ever, but you know, people that enjoy Zelda, they're going to love it. You know, but like I said, it's like anything. There's people who love, you know, Battlefield and what have you, Halo. I'm not interested in these games. We're all different. We've all got different tastes. You know, if you don't like Zelda games, then this game is not going to change your mind. But if you actually sat down and played it for a couple of hours, I guarantee you'd enjoy it. You know, so that reminds me, I actually need to get back into it again. And number 5 from Kev. Since you love Robotron 2084, have you heard that Eugene Jarvis is making a new twin-stick shooter called Nex Machina? Looks like it will come out May the 23rd for the PS4. Can we expect a review and gameplay from you? Must admit, Kev, when you posted that question, I had never even heard of it, Nex Machina. But what I did was, I don't normally pre-read these questions, but I just thought I'd have a wee quick look at them. And because I'd never heard of it, I did a Google and I watched a video on YouTube, and I've got to say it looks really nice. So I will be all over that when that comes out on the May the 23rd. I'll definitely be getting that. It looks incredible, and if it's even 1% as good as Robotron 2084, then I will be one happy bunny. So yeah, definitely be. When it does come out, I mean, I never do reviews, but especially not on modern machines, but I think I'll make an exception for that one. So yeah, anyway, let's Kev, thanks for your questions, buddy. I do appreciate it. And the last questions, got a couple of questions here, is Scott Retrohawk. Thank you, Scott. It's been a wee while, mate, since you've asked Eddie, and you always come up with cracking questions. Hey Alan, question for this week's show. Hey, I love when you call it a show, as opposed to a camera pointing at an old man that's getting very tired. With demand being a lot greater than supply with retro gaming stuff, do you think it will soon become difficult for people starting a collection? Now I was going to talk about something and Scott has kind of touched on it. Aye, you know what, when I was buying that Neo Geo stick thing, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for it, you know, it was a fair chunk of money. It's apparent that, you know, classic gaming systems, consoles, computers, they're all going for some daft money now. Whether they sell for that is another thing, but it's very difficult to get a bargain, I think, on eBay now. Your best bet's probably Gumtree, you know what I mean, if you take the risk. But yeah, just systems, 8-bit computers, 16-bit computers, consoles, they just go for some stupid money. I mean, I saw a game, now I don't know whether this is true or not. In fact, I was mentioning it a few weeks ago, the Neo Geo cartridge system. The games go for about £200-300 each, which is just criminal. I mean, I saw a game for the Neo Geo, Neo Turfmaster, which is a really good golf game. Now, it was a cartridge, and it was boxed, and it was starting price, I think it was £16,000. You know, and I'm like, is this a misprint? I don't know. But yeah, it just seems that the general price of hardware and games has gone through the roof, and so it is going to be more difficult for somebody to get a collection. I mean, Steve Benway has got an absolutely awesome collection of hardware. some really, really rare stuff. Now, he's admitted that he was collecting machines when most of us weren't interested. He's been collecting old hardware since the sort of like the 90s, and he was getting stuff for like pennies, because back in 1990 or 1995, whenever, nobody was interested in a Commodore 64. Nobody would want it. You would get rid of it. I mean, to let you understand, back in 1999, I had a Super Nintendo with about 20 boxed games, and I gave that away to a guy that I worked with. He had a little daughter, and I said, "Oh, I don't use it. Do you want it?" I think I'd just got the PlayStation. Not in fact, I didn't just get the PlayStation. I got the PlayStation 2, 3 years before that. But I gave away my Super Nintendo with all these boxed games, Mario Kart. You know, that would be worth 400 quid now, you know, but I gave it away completely for nothing. I wasn't interested in getting an old system back then, but yeah, it's just, you know, games and systems have just gone through the roof. They're way, way too pricey. And it's just because people have now realised, oh, wait a minute, there's money to be made in this hobby. And so getting bargains is almost a thing of the past. You know, you might be lucky going into Gumtree and somebody selling a computer, whatever. But in the main now, you've got to expect you're going to be paying more for hardware. And it's a shame, because a lot of the stuff that you see is just simply overpriced. But, you know, it's like anything. If people know there's money to be made, then they're going to do that. Now, this is the part that I was going to touch on earlier on. Connected to the above question, do you think hoarding is a big problem? I often see people with ridiculous numbers of the same system, like 7 or 8 of the same machine and the same games. Aye, I know what you're talking about, Scott. I mean, I'm guilty of that slightly, not too bad. I mean, what have I got? I've got 2 Vectrexes. Now, the reason I've got 2 is because the Vectrex is my favourite system, bar none. It's just an amazing system, and I got the chance of getting a second one for a really cheap price. You know, cheap. I think I got it for 70 quid, and that included 10 games. That was maybe 3 years ago. You know, a Vectrex now, I think they go for about 250 quid without a game. So it was too good an offer to turn down. And because the Vectrex is such an old machine, you know, repairing it's not that easy. So I'm quite happy to have a spare. I've probably got, I don't know, I've maybe got 4 Commodore 64s. I know I've got 2 Amiga 1200s. I've got, I think, 2 or 3 Mega Drives. I've got 2, 3 Xbox 360s. They're not technically retro. Maybe they are retro, and they're certainly not retro to me. So yeah, I've got a few systems which I do own more than one of. But yeah, there are people who own a silly number of the same systems. You know why? I've got no idea. So yeah, I mean, I suppose the fact that if one person's got 6 or 7 of the same machines, it's basically taking them away from other people owning them. And where is this kind of leading from? You know, the question I was thinking about earlier on is, when I got my Neo Geo, I was setting it up, and I counted the number of systems. I mean, let me just think. The number of systems, I mean, this room that I'm in, it's a tiny wee room. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I've got 26 systems in this games room, all ready to go. They're all plugged into TVs. I just need to press a button on the TV and I'm good to go. 26 systems. That's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, and most of my collection I don't actually use. Don't get me wrong, I do use them, but not as often as I probably should. And in some ways, as much as I love the fact that I've got all these systems, it does depress me slightly. And by the way, the 26 systems that I've counted doesn't include I don't know, I've got about a dozen handhelds up there as well. And I've got about another, I don't know, 3 or 4 in that cupboard. Plus I've got more in the loft, so yeah, it's just a bit silly. What was I talking about? Yeah, can a collection become too big? I think it probably can, and I'm probably there already with it. It's probably too big. Would I ever get rid of stuff? Right now, no. I love the fact that I've got these systems, but I don't make use of them. I certainly don't make use of them the way I should do. You know, having too many games, too many systems, it just means that you're not going to play stuff, and that's where I am right now in my collection. I mean, I am buying less. You know, I don't actively go out and look for other systems, but every now and again, case in point, that Neo Geo, I'll see somebody, usually at the computer club, with a new system, and I think, oh, that's amazing, I need to get myself one, and that's what led me to go and get the Neo Geo. But I'm not actively looking for any other systems. There's no system apart from the Sharp X68000 which I would go and buy. I really don't have any more room for anything else. And like I said, I mean, I've got some systems here. I mean, I think everything in this room I do play, not very often. You know, what I should really do, and I keep thinking about doing this actually, is picking one system for a week and just playing it. I mean, because I've got other things on the go, making YouTube videos, I've got my running, I've got my guitar lessons. It's quite hard actually trying to get the time to play games. I mean, you know, I don't have much time like most people. But what I should really do is pick one system. So say, right, 3DO, I'll just play 3DO games for a week and enjoy it, you know, get the most out of it, and then pick another system another week. So I may do that, but you know me, I probably won't end up not doing it actually, you know what I mean? But anyway, listen, that is the waffle. Apologies, it's been a wee bit shorter, guys, but I'm pretty knackered actually, and I just wasn't feeling it tonight. I mean, actually, believe it or not, this was the third take, I think, of the waffle. I started recording it, and after 5 minutes, I just thought, no, this isn't working. It's just, I just wasn't feeling it at all tonight, guys. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thank you, as usual, to all the subscribers. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thanks to all the guys that stick with me through thick and thin. I will continue to keep trying my best to keep you entertained. Please keep the comments and what have you coming in. It's always really appreciated. And as usual, for the Friday Waffle, please get your questions in, guys, because if it wasn't for questions, I probably wouldn't have the waffle. So that's it, guys. Hope you have a nice weekend, and as usual, thank you very much for watching.